iStoryTime library. Keep your child engaged with one of the largest digital libraries for iPad, iPhone, iPod Touch, and Android devices.
A stifling heat has reigned over the country of the Smurfs for several weeks. Nobody is moving over the Smurf village. Even greedy Smurf has lost his appetite. The heat is obviously scorching. Courageously, Farmer Smurf tries to save his crops, but sadly, water is getting more and more scarce. Brainy Smurf only dreams of one thing: a large glass of Smurfberry juice. Discovering the orchard of dried-up bushes, he exclaims, "It's a Smurf-tastrophe! They're all smurfed!" Admittedly, the situation is terrible. Papa Smurf has decided to make a marvelous fertilizer to save the crops. "It is a dangerous product," he says to himself. "I will only smurf it on the sarsaparilla field." But Brainy Smurf is thinking of his Smurfberries instead. In spite of the heat, Smurfette has asked Hefty Smurf to lift some rocks from her garden and to carry them to the quarry. "You are so strong," she exclaims. "I would be completely smurfed after such an effort." As soon as her back is turned, poor Hefty Smurf slumps over. The temptation was too strong for Brainy Smurf. In turn, he made a dose of fertilizer for his precious Smurfberry bushes. But while running to the field, he trips and spills the pot. "Smurf, Smurf, and double Smurf," he grumbles. "I'm going to have to make it again." He does not realize that behind him, Hefty Smurf has become gigantic. In the village, the ground suddenly begins to shake. Panic rouses the Smurfs from their sluggishness. "Papa Smurf! Papa Smurf, help!" cries the giant Smurf, crushing everything in his path. "I don't know what smurfed," he groans. "I was at the quarry and some drops smurfed on my head." "We have to warn Papa Smurf," exclaims Smurfette. But Brainy Smurf stops her. He is too afraid of getting punished. "We have to smurf the good side of things," he says. "Now you really are the strongest of all the Smurfs. You can smurf anything you like." "I know," exclaims Hefty Smurf. "I have always dreamed of smurfing Gargamel a good lesson. I will smurf over to his cottage right now." His companions beg him to be careful, but it does no good. He doesn't listen to them. Even as a giant, Hefty Smurf is still smaller than Gargamel, but he does not give up his plan despite that. "Wizard, you are my prisoner," he cries. "I am going to smurf you to the village." "To the village?" That really piques Gargamel's interest. In spite of his efforts, the dreadful wizard has never succeeded in finding the Smurf's village, so he pretends to be very afraid of Hefty Smurf, who puts him into a large sack with Azrael, his cat. With Handy Smurf's help, Papa Smurf has made a catapult to spread the fertilizer over the whole sarsaparilla field, but terrified Smurfs come to interrupt his work. As it was to be expected, Gargamel got out of the sack. He overpowered Hefty Smurf and shut him in the sack in turn. With a sinister laugh, he sets off in pursuit of the Smurfs. "It's my fault," groans Brainy Smurf. "I should not have smurfed that fertilizer." "I'm beginning to understand what's smurfed," says Papa Smurf. "But I have an idea that will get us out of this mess." Acting like matadors, the Smurfs draw Azrael the cat toward them. They agitate him so much that he rushes right into a dead tree. Perched in the tree, Papa Smurf sprinkles him with fertilizer. "Azrael, where are you, you stupid animal?" Mangy cat, fleabag! But on seeing his cat, Gargamel regrets all his insults. Now, my precious kitty, you are not going to get mad, he says with a trembling voice. Too late, Azrael decides to take revenge for everything he has put up with. He furiously pursues his master through mountains and valleys. Happily for Gargamel, the fertilizer's effect on living creatures goes away in time. He just has to take refuge in his cottage and wait it out. Hefty Smurf does not have to wait so long. He instantly regains his normal size thanks to an antidote that Papa Smurf prepared. Now Brainy Smurf wishes he were a giant. As punishment, Papa Smurf has put him in charge of repairing all the damage he has caused in the village.
The library features a wide selection of narrated children's storybooks from your kids' favorite films, TV shows, and classic stories. All books feature professional narration, and many books contain highlighted text and animations.
Eep reached a small clearing where a brilliant light danced and leaped on the ground.
Download a free preview to try before you buy. Of course, you can purchase a single book or subscribe to the award-winning iStoryTime library that has been called the Netflix of kids' books by TechCrunch, where for a low monthly or annual cost, you can get unlimited access to all of the books in the iStoryTime library, including all new releases.